So the idea for today's video came from a recent trip to Tallinn, Estonia. On this trip, I noticed that the city center had a towering, blocky 1970s or 80s era hotel. Nothing special, right? But then I remembered seeing something similar on a September trip to Riga. And then I thought about the Radisson Blu Hotel in Vilnius and how it had a similar vibe as well. I slowly connected the dots and realized that all of these hotels were Soviet-era hotels that were built to cater specifically to foreign tourists. Most intriguingly, Tallinn's Sokos Hotel Viru was host to a radio station called the KGB Radio Center. This radio service was used to eavesdrop and spy on hotel guests. Wikipedia states that 60 of the rooms had concealed espionage devices, while some restaurant tables in the hotel had microphones. Another website states that the Hotel Latvia, now the Radisson Blu Hotel Lietuva, also had a KGB telephone tapping unit located on the upper floors. So with this pattern forming, I thought I would specifically explore the Hotel Lithuania, or Lietuvos viešbutis, to learn more about its history, especially since it's not too far from where I live now. So let's get started. An article by the website Made in Vilnius explains the history quite well. I'll summarize it here, but I'll also link to the article in the video description. Construction of the hotel started in 1966, but in 1967, due to changes in the project, work was stopped. Apparently, 2 more floors had to be added, and the name had to be changed. Work was then restarted in 1972. This project alone shows me how much Lithuania has changed. These days, it seems to me that new building projects take just a year or 2 to reach completion. But for this 85-meter hotel, it took almost 20 years. It opened in 1983 with the name Lietuvos. Apparently, completion took so long because much of the planning wasn't finished before the start of the project. A lack of coordination between construction contractors was cited as another reason. One newspaper also said that firemen forbade the use of wood and the whole idea of the interior had to be changed. The hotel belonged to the Intourist Group, and a quick search tells me that this was a Russian tour operator headquartered in Moscow, which served as the primary travel agency for foreign tourists in the Soviet Union. The Lietuvos Hotel not only provided accommodation, but also travel organization services. I'm guessing it was the exact same deal with the hotels I noticed in Riga and Tallinn. In fact, in-tourist hotels are all over the former Soviet Union, from Lithuania all the way to Azerbaijan and Kyrgyzstan. Back to Vilnius though, the Lietuvos Hotel was envisioned to be the most important attraction of the new public center on the right bank of the Neris River. This hotel in Vilnius was just like the ones in Tallinn and Riga, in that they were under heavy KGB surveillance. According to an article by El Rytas, in 1972, the Operational Technical Department of the KGB received technical documentation and planned the placement of operational equipment in the rooms, in restaurants, and in cafes. In 1983, before the opening of the hotel, the KGB had already installed a certain number of hotel rooms with wiretapping and other means of surveillance. Many rooms had listening devices installed, and there were antenna amplifiers fitted throughout the building. The El Rytas article lists devices like the T50, O50, F50, and Mac 75. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any images of these devices other than what appears in the article. Well, the Soviet Union would fall, and Lithuania would eventually regain its independence. This would see changes in ownership for all in-tourist hotels, including the one in Vilnius. On my walking tour of Tallinn, our tour guide told us that the KGB left in such a hurry that they just left all of their listening equipment in place. And thus today, there's a KGB museum where the listening room used to be. It's on the 23rd floor of the 22-floor hotel, if you know what I mean. There's no similar museum in Vilnius in the hotel, but anything that is on a similar note will be found on the other side of the river at the Museum of Occupation and Freedom Fights, which is located in a former KGB building. The hotel was privatized in 1997 and was eventually renamed to be the Reval Hotel Lietuva. Then, in 2010, after a change of management, it was renamed Radisson Blu Hotel Lietuva, and has had this name ever since. At the end of researching this topic, I thought this would be a good opportunity and excuse to go to the hotel and check it out for myself. My wife and I headed up to the 22nd floor Sky Bar for a small dinner and to enjoy the view. Radisson obviously did a good job renovating the hotel, since everything looked new and modern. I don't know what the hotel looked like back in the in-tourist days, but I imagine it's quite different from what it is today. The Sky Bar is pretty cool, and since it only opens in the evening, I would say summer is the better time of the year to enjoy the view. So, did you know about the history of this hotel, or the other hotels across many other cities occupied by the Soviet Union? Let me know by leaving a comment. For the Lithuanian word of the day, let's go with viešbutis, which means hotel. Viešbutis. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.